So we're like dancing in the drum circle. Hey, I'm Tiffany. Welcome back to Mellow Vybes. I'm the creator of Mellow Vybes and mellowvybes.com. Today we're talking about 5 high vibe countries to travel to solo if you are a Black female and you want to feel appreciated. So, all right, if you are new to my channel, I help introspective, artistic, creative, wanderlusting freedom seekers of, kind of tap into their gifts, share their gifts, be more acquainted with the life that they desire and achieve that, and develop healthier relationships, develop a healthier them, and what else? Become more self-aware. I am a self-development person. And so if you want any more information, be sure to go to mellowvybes.com, book a session, check out what's there. Also, like, if this sounds interesting, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe, put on the notifications so you know when I post a video. I have like over 100 videos here, so be sure to check them out. Okay, so I'm going to shout out the video that I'm going to be responding to today is actually from the channel Around the World, and it's the top happiest countries to live in the world, which is also seen as the world's safest countries. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the notes that I have on this because, the list of places, they sound fine, but I want to be warm. And let me tell you, the top 10 countries they had. They had Austria, Canada, New Zealand, Sweden, Switzerland, Netherlands, Iceland, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. And so, I do have one of these countries that are actually on my list today, but I'll be really specific about where. And, but according to this, they rate happiness on how immigrants are treated, which I appreciate. That's great. But I felt happy in various places, and happiness is also subjective. So my take on happiness for me is feeling free, feeling free emotionally, physically, mentally, just feeling like I can just be myself and feeling at peace and relaxed enough to regularly feel like I can just go inward and have these spiritual experiences because I don't have my guard up, and somewhere where I can go and feel appreciated and welcome. I kind of struggled with a couple of places I was going to put on this list, and then I left them off because though I felt like they could be really great, peaceful places to, actually have these really great self-discovery moments, they could have been places where I didn't feel seen or appreciated. And I think we've all kind of been there as people of color when you're in a space and it's just like, well, it was nice and I felt okay, I felt safe or whatever, but I didn't feel like they even saw me, like, at all. Like, it was like I might as well not have been there. So and also just having a place where, like, a setting where you feel again like you can have deeper intimate experiences with yourself, because being here in the US, it is a feat, and it's like you have to be super intentional about like carving out the time to do that, because there's always so much going on and so much like pressure. And so again, these are the places where I didn't feel that, and I felt like I could just be, which is important. I could just be in, like, my feminine energy and not have like some guard up. So let's get into that. And again, okay, so from this video, the video that I'm responding to, the top 10, all the countries mentioned are considered predominantly white countries, and they're all cold. Like, they're all like known to be cold places. So aside from New Zealand and Canada, like all the countries are in Europe. And I just feel like there are other countries where, and some countries that are of the global majority. And when I say global majority, I mean people of color, because we are the global majority. I feel like there are many places that would provide a peaceful and relaxed setting for Black female solo travelers, where they can also feel welcome and appreciated and warm. And so I'm going to talk about those places where I felt that good energy, where I felt like there was like creative, artistic, like this high vibe places that you could really, have these really good, creative, deep experiences, because that's what I'm all about here. So, okay, number one, I'm going to start with since we're talking about global majority, I'm going to start with a place that is global majority, and that is the Dominican Republic. So if you've seen any recent videos, you know I've been there a lot this year. Like I've spent like 2 months there this year. And I don't know what it is, but when I talk to people, when I'm on my WhatsApp, when I'm over there, they always say they glow, especially my brother. He's like, you're always glowing when you're over there. And I just feel like everybody that I've met there has been super friendly. Obviously, I've gone there that long because my fiance is, you know, from the DR, and so could also be the reason why I'm glowing. But I just feel like comfortable. I've spent a month in Punta Cana, a month in Santo Domingo, and I've met really great people from there and not from there. Like I've met people that live there that are from the United States and they've been there for a while, because they also feel really free to just be themselves and not be bogged down with stuff from the US and keeping up with images and you know, having to feel like they have to fit into like the society of, you know, I don't know, portraying that you're like, that you have this thing, you have that thing, you know, materialism basically. So yeah, it is definitely, everyone I met there has been so welcome, and they are always friendly and creative. Like my fiance is creative. He doesn't say that, but like he makes things all the time. He's essentially like a carpenter. His sister started making furniture. It's just kind of like a place where you can get things and be creative. You are definitely seen and appreciated as a Black woman. You're constantly told how beautiful you are and hit on a lot if that's what you're looking for. And it's just a place where I feel like I can walk around and just like explore and also see, like, be with nature. It's like I was in cities, but it's just like nature is everywhere. It's like you can commune with nature, which is, you know, it provides a great setting to have really good conversations with yourself and explore yourself more. I also want to be super clear about the fact that, okay, you could say, well, you were on vacation for these places, it's different. Like living there or being there for a long amount of time. I mean, I was in these places for at least a week. Italy, I've been longer, like a few weeks. DR, again, 2 months. But for DR, by no means was I on a vacation. I was working. Like I work from home now. I was working from home in DR. I just changed my location. And so the way I feel like sometimes when I'm here in Massachusetts just working, I feel like there's never a moment. Like I just literally feel like I'm working all the time. In DR, I don't know, it's just more relaxed. I didn't feel that way. I felt like, you know, I could work outside on the balcony, and I just felt good. I don't know what it is. It's the it's the energy. That's the point of this video, right? So it's the energy. There's something about it where I don't feel the same at all working from home over there that I do over here. So I want to make that clear, because this was in no means a vacation. Anytime that I've gone there, I was always working. I have not had a vacation since I was in Germany. Which is the next country we'll be talking about. And then the next country I'm going to go into is actually a cold country. Okay, well, I'm sure it gets warm, but I went in the winter time. And it is Germany. And so, okay, so this place I went with someone. So we'll say solo or duo, I guess. And so I went with my sister last year. So this is I went January 2020, so it was like the end of January 2020. It was like, wow, this whole COVID talk was like kind of buzzing. But anyway, essentially the plan was to go during Christmas. That's the only reason I wanted to go to Germany, because I know they do up Christmas with all the lights and everything. But we went so late, so obviously they were like gone by the time we were there. But the where we stayed, let me be specific. We stayed in Bergisch Gladbach, which is super close to Cologne. So we were in Cologne all the time because we were also taking buses in and out of Cologne to go to other places. And we went to Frankfurt for a day as well. So I know a lot of people go to Berlin. Also, like, we met up with my sister's friend who is from Germany, and she had been a transfer student, which is how my sister met her. And she was just like, oh, I'm surprised you guys didn't go to Berlin, which was like super far away from where we were. And really, like, we stayed at the place we were at because my sister wanted to see her friend. That's where we were, in that location. But it was really a good spot. Like, I felt like, again, good energy. That's the whole point of this list. It was good energy. The people were warm and friendly. We stayed in this Airbnb that was like the top part of the house of this older couple, and they were so sweet. I mean, we had our own, like, it was private, super private. Like, we never saw them again after we checked in. But they were so sweet. Everywhere we went, they were really sweet. They were really patient with my German, because I would intentionally, you know, spend like 2 months beforehand trying to learn my German. And everywhere was just nice. It was a vibe. There was a lot of nature. We went hiking in, I think, Koenig Forest. Forest is forest. And so we went hiking one day, and it was just, it was beautiful. It was breathtaking. Yeah, I feel like everyone we talked to was really nice. Because let me look at my notes. Also, I feel like I experienced something maybe like Black privilege when I was there, if that's a thing. I feel like when we were in a place where we saw Black people that lived in Germany, or they were working. Specifically, we were in this mall, this huge, like, center, I guess, and there was, the top floor had like a restaurant, and essentially you had to bring your stuff up after you were done. And so I knew that because I would see people asking the person who was working there, who was a Black man, and he was directing them to where to go to take their stuff. Like, it wasn't like they're gonna take it for you. So we were just sitting there and talking and stuff, but we were done, but we were just sitting and talking, and he came up and he's like, he just took our things for us. And I was like, oh, okay. Cause he was not doing that for anybody. And then another point, like, I went to the bathroom, and, you know, there's always bathroom attendants in Europe, and I forget that you have to pay a lot of the time. And so I was like, oh, you have to pay to go in. And then the woman was a Black woman, and she was just like, don't worry about it. Just go. It's fine. There were like several experiences like that where I felt like I was treated well by the other Black people that we saw there, and that was lovely. But I was treated well overall in general, and it was a vibe. That's the point. So, not something I would have like really thought of on a list of like really good energy places, but it was, and I felt really, really good there. So I would go again. Next on my list is, okay, everybody should know this is like #1 in my heart thus far, but Italy is my like favorite place to be. And I went in 2012 and I went in 2016. I went in 2012 by myself. I went in 2016 again with my little sister. And this was the first time that she had been, I took her out of the country for the first time. Although we started in other countries before Italy, but so you will feel really good, or at least I feel really good in Italy. Especially like my very first trip was the most probably spiritual experience that I had had, at least up until that point. It was like the hugest self-discovery moments. I mean, there's beauty everywhere. Italy is a place where if you get lost, it's fine. You'll find your way eventually, but you're not even going to worry about the fact that you're lost, because everywhere is breathtaking. And again, specifics, I was in Florence. Primarily, it was my home base for both trips, and both times took trips to Pisa. The first time I also went to Rome and Siena. The second time I went to Cinque Terre. So I've been in several places, and for the most part, I'll say all good energy, because I'm not counting. Rome is to me just like New York and New York City, and that's not my vibe. But other than that, like, all the other places are super like peaceful. Like, there's the scenery and the nature around, and a lot of the places are really just epic. And I was always like, you know, treated very well. I would go into shops and they're just like, oh, what's your name? And, oh, your name's so beautiful. And I've never heard that name before. I'm like, okay. And you know, going to restaurants. I remember there was one restaurant that I went to like several times the first time because it was so good. But when we went again 2016, it was, the quality had gone down in food. But like I remember that I would have the same waiter, and he would just like give me like a free drink, and he would always want to talk to me in like English, and I'm trying to talk, you know, practice my Italian. And I had this really great tour guide for, it wasn't like a tour around, it was like we went in a gondola boat, like a boat. We went in on a gondola ride down the Arno, and he was pointing out stuff. But like afterward, he was just like, oh, when are you gonna come back? I hope you come back. We'll be here waiting for you. Italy is waiting for you. Like I've had nothing but like really good experiences with the Italian people in Italy. So definitely a great place to feel both appreciated as a Black woman and to feel you know, safe enough to let your guard down and have these really good self-discovery experiences. I have the most epic pictures probably that I've ever taken in life. Well, some of them, because I do like to take photos every now and again, and I've had like some really epic photos that now are on some things on my website if you want to check them out. I have kind of like an Italia series, and you know, the pictures are just amazing. Okay, so Costa Rica is next. And so I neither went solo or duo there. I actually went with my two sisters, my mom, and my 2-year-old nephew in 2018, but I would totally go back by myself. We stayed in Punta Arenas, right? Yes. And we also went to Capos, and we flew into San Jose. So we were actually in San Jose, I think, coming and going, because Punta Arenas is like 2 hours from San Jose. So we had to drive to and fro. And okay, totally great places to just commune with nature. Our house was like on the top of a mountain in a rainforest or something, and it was everybody was really friendly. I mean, because we had to, you know, come out and go to the stores and do all that stuff. Everybody was super nice. I feel like I was like, are there women here? Like, at least where we were, I'm like, are there women here? We saw men like everywhere, and so they were always like smiling at us and being really friendly, and so it definitely felt like good and seen and appreciated and welcome by people. They made us feel really welcome, and at least I want to say at least 3 times we had people just come up to us and tell us like how beautiful we were, how beautiful our skin was. I remember this woman came up to me, I think that was in Capos, we were walking around Capos. She was like, tu piel es tan hermosa. I was like, oh, thank you. Like it was just like, I was so caught off guard. I've never had anyone to say like, your skin is beautiful, like, you know. So I think everybody raves about Costa Rica. It's really a great place to be in nature, and really like I see a lot of yoga people there. It's gorgeous, and the people are beautiful people. Like their spirits are really good. There's definitely good energy there. I mean, we actually got in a car accident while we were there, but still quite a high energy place to be as well. So next place is one that was actually on the list, Canada, but I'm going to be specifically talking about Montreal. Montreal is a place that I was like, I wanted to go somewhere for my 33rd birthday, and I was like, don't want to spend Europe money, but I want to have something like that. And I'd seen so many pictures of Montreal that looked very much like Europe with the architecture. I'm an architecture person, so I went there for that. Actually didn't really see that much architecture as expecting, not like what I had seen in photos. I'm like, I don't know where these people were, but where I did go was like honestly one of the best experiences of life. I was kind of in the, I think it was called Hochelaga Hochelaga something. Okay, now what was I saying before I ran out of space for like the 100th time? Okay. Canada, Hochelaga. Okay. I know Canada is also like kind of, we think of Canada, we think of cold. I went in the summertime. It was very pleasant. So I don't know about the winter. I mean, it's very close. Also, I went because it's very close to here. So it's maybe like a 4.5 hour drive from where I am in Massachusetts. I flew, it was like an hour. So it's probably very similar climate. It gets really cold here too, but it's also regularly very hot in the summer. So I flew over there by myself. My cousin met me over there, and for my birthday. And yeah, so where I was, I mean, the energy was so great, and I raved about it so much that my little sister that I was traveling with before, she ended up going that same year, like a couple months later, for her birthday with her boyfriend. They were in a totally different area, but they still had like a really great time. Even though someone stole like the rims from his tires. That's not funny, but it's a really good place to be. Like, it's peaceful. The vibe is like honestly amazing. Like, everywhere we went, it was incredible. My cousin was like, are they back in time or something? Because everywhere we went, it was like 90s hip hop like playing. But it was like the best times. I've never seen so many like people just feel like free and comfortable with themselves. I've never seen so many like just gay couples walking around holding hands, and I live in Massachusetts. I've never seen that much. So I just loved that. I just loved that everybody was like free to be themselves. There were so many people that were tatted up, different colored hair, like older people too, like 60s, 70s. And I just felt like it was such a artistic place to be. We met a lot of people that were very like creative types. I think I'm like, where did we meet this girl? But I think she just came up and started talking to us. It was this girl she was from Delaware, but she had been living there for 5 years, and she was telling us like how great it is to be there. Everywhere we went, it was just friendly. I remember we were like trying to look for which direction we were going into, and this guy just came up to us and was just like helping us and like walking us to where we needed to be. Like, we met guys over there, these other two guys that we ended up just driving around with, strangers. And so if you've seen my intro that's in a lot of my recent videos, that's not in this video, but it's in a lot of my recent videos where I'm like dancing in a car. I was in these strangers' car with my cousin in Montreal, and we had such a good time with them. There is a place where everybody goes on Sundays called Le Plateau, and it's like in the Mount Royal area. Remember that? That's a whole vibe. People go there. There's people like, there's parts of it that's very like European, where you kind of see people like rolling out their mats and selling their wares, right? But there is like a whole drum circle thing happening, like a huge drum circle, and so we're like dancing in the drum circle. And people go there to smoke weed. That's not my thing, but it was nice. We were like given stuff. Yeah, it was, I mean, there was a place that we passed while we were going there where they have like, they sell like these singing bowls and stuff, and that was like obviously a vibe. Like, so everywhere was like so good. It's like, I remember the girl was telling us about like how, like the girl from Delaware was saying how like safe it is. She's like, this is like the safest place I've ever been. And so when you feel safe, you feel, again, comfortable enough to just, you know, let down your guard. I will say that about DR as well. It is actually very safe because you're not actually allowed to have guns and stuff. I want to go any place where you're not allowed to actually have guns. So I feel safer there than I do in the United States, that's for sure. So same in Canada. Just the vibe is incredible. Like, I can't wait to go there. I was there and I was just like, yo, I could live here. I never thought I would live somewhere where I know it gets cold. But I could live here for real, even though I didn't speak French. So not you need to speak French, although I was told that when I was in, so I've been to Niagara Falls and I've been to Toronto. Totally different energy. Montreal is where it's at. But we were told, because I went to Niagara Falls with my family, I think a year prior to me going to Montreal, and they said, oh, you have to speak French. Like, probably, yeah, if you're like working there, because they were like working there. but to visit and stuff, you know, to just like have an experience for a while. Things are in French and in English. You know, every other country that you go to aside from the United States, you have to speak more than one language to cater to people visiting, to tourists and stuff. They do not do that in this country, but in Canada, yeah. So, but I got by. Like, my cousin is fluent in French, but even without her, I was able to like read stuff because I speak Spanish and, you know, some Italian stuff, so I can make things out. But the energy was just fabulous. I'm like, what other notes do I have on Canada? It was just like peaceful, friendly. People just smile at you. Like, I was like, I could stay here and definitely, it's a definitely perfect setting to have the type of carefree and intimate and introspective experiences that you would want. If you feel like you can't have that where you're at, like, it's a whole high energy vibe over there, and so I can't wait to go back. So that's my list, and I kind of want to give an honorable mention to places that I haven't been yet, but I am wanting to go to, and that is Ghana, that is Gambia, and that's Mexico. I've heard nothing but amazing things for all of them. Mexico is like really high priority, and then Gambia, and then Ghana, probably. So, but I've heard nothing but good things from the people that I know have gone there, to all of these places, and yeah. So again, you know, if you are looking for, I feel like a lot of people are in this place of spiritual journeys and spiritual awakenings. Mine was some years ago, and but if you are in that space where this is where you're headed and you want to have like that kind of intimate experience with yourself and feel comfortable in a place where you can have that, like, these are great places, because it's, you know, it's easier to have like these kind of experiences, like an intimate experience be on your spiritual journey, tap into your creativity, when you don't have to have your guard up all the time, which is how I feel in the United States, which is why I'm like looking to leave very soon, sooner than later, but you know, there's all these things in the works right now. But yeah, leave a comment if you have more places that you think should be on this list for like these high vibe, energetic places to be and feel good and appreciated as a Black woman, and or as a Black person in general. Just let me know, leave a comment. If you want some more travel stuff, check out my Travel with Tiffany playlist, where you will see some of the places that I mentioned in those videos. I do have like a Montreal video, DR, I haven't done Germany yet because we went into the pandemic and I didn't really feel like doing any of that stuff. I really took a break from like doing any travel videos for a while, even though I've been places, but I'll probably hit that up later. I do have a Costa Rica video. I think I have every place except for Germany, because I have Costa Rica. That was I have pieces of my second trip to Italy. My first trip is actually on my very first channel that I made in college, and maybe I'll transfer it over at some point, because that whole experience, and that was definitely my Italian vacation in 2012 was the very first time I'd been out of the country, and I went by myself, and so that was a whole amazing experience, and so maybe I'll try to put it over here. Oh, and going back to Italy, if I didn't talk about creativity there, yes, it was something about being there. I felt like more creative. I was in the kitchen of the apartment that I stayed in, and I was just like recording all the time. I was like recording music, and it just felt like I had that space and freedom, and it gave me that inspiration to be more creative than normal, because I'm a creative person in general. So yeah, these are all, again, places for if you're looking for that artistic space, if you're looking for the space to feel that good energy, to, like I said, go into like introspective, artistic, creative spaces, journeys, spiritual journeys, all of that. These places, check them out. And yeah, also sign up to my mailing list at mellowvybes.com. That's MELLOWVYBES, Mellow Vybes, vibes with a Y, .com. It'll be a pop-up You can subscribe for more information, for more videos, for more of the classes that I teach, the sessions that I have, encouraging messages, all of that, mellowvybes.com. And do not forget to like and share this video. So, peace and mellow vibes.